Hello. In this video, we'll talk about how to access the online database Opposing Viewpoints that's available to all Minos students. And we'll talk a little bit about how to use it to help you find topics for projects or for papers that you might be working on. So the first step is to log into your Blackboard account and go to the Student Activities section. On the left side menu, look down until you find Media Center. And this is our virtual media center. Now there's a number of resources here, but to get to the Opposing Viewpoints database, scroll down just a little bit. Here's the link. And this is the important part. The password for everyone is lowercase MNOHS. You don't need a username. Okay, and again, password MNOHS. All right, so this is what the database looks like. And as you learned in an earlier video, online databases are just like walking into a library. So everything that is there has been reviewed, it's been published elsewhere, just like materials that you would find in a brick and mortar library. So I'm going to show you how to navigate your way around, and I'm also going to show you how to use this when you are choosing topics for research. So on the first page, you'll notice issues of interest, and these are hot topics, ones that have been recently updated, ones that are currently being discussed in the news. So you see here we have neurodiversity, global warming and climate change, college tuition, and student loans. If none of those sound interesting to you, you can also browse issues down here. Now, these are just the topics, kind of the general categories of issues. So we have business and economics, energy and environmentalism, and so on. Those categories aren't topics themselves, but what you can do is look underneath these categories to get some ideas. So you can see here there's issues with advertising, predatory lending. Here's the global warming again, healthcare access. Anything that has this little orange updated sign next to it means that they've recently added more information about that. So if you are needing to research a topic that's very current, that's a good thing to note. If none of those topics sound interesting, you can also go here to browse issues. Here you'll find an alphabetical list of many, many issues. And again, when we say issue, that means that there's some controversy. There's at least two sides to it. Just because an issue is on this list does not mean that it's necessarily going to work for your project or essay that you're putting together. So always double check that with your teacher. But this is a good place to start when you're trying to get ideas. So let's take a look through these and pick one and take a closer look at it. So let's go to one of these that's been updated. We've got global warming and climate change. And when you click on it, it brings you to the section of the database where all the information that they have about that topic is collected. A nice thing to start with is this overview. The overview is going to give you the background that you need about your issue, and it's also going to show you both sides of the issue. So people that are supporting this issue, you'll learn what their arguments are, and people that are opposing this issue, you'll see what their arguments are. So this is always a really good place to start. When you scroll down a little bit, you can see all the different types of resources that they have. There's viewpoint articles, which are like editorials, statistics, audio, other websites, and now these are websites that have been vetted and checked for authenticity and reliability. Reference materials, primary sources, magazines, and so on. You can see that there's a lot of things to draw from. When you scroll farther down, then you can see each of these categories, and they've included just a few titles for you to take a look at. Viewpoints, as I mentioned earlier, are editorials. This means that these are opinion pieces. These are good ones to start with just to get an idea of the typical opinions and arguments that both sides have. They're not necessarily good resources once you start your research, but it's a good place to start. The other thing that you'll find here too is the reading level of these articles. And you can see here, this one's got the 5 dots. It's a reading level 5. This is more of a college level reading. Here's one that's called a content level 4. It's got 4 dots and so on. So that's another kind of nice hint that they give you up front. But let's scroll down and let's say we want to find a magazine article. Let's go for this one. You can see that it's very recent. November 26th of 2022, so it's been within the last month. You can see where it's coming from. So let's click into it and see what we can find. Once you click into it, you'll notice that you have access to the entire original article. If you decide this is something that you want to use, you can save it on your Google Drive. You can save it to Microsoft OneDrive, which Minnows uses. You can email it to yourself. You can even download or print it out. So if you decide this is an article that you really think you might use, I would recommend saving it somehow. Once you leave the database, it won't save that article for you on the database. So you need to make sure that you're getting a copy of it somehow. If you like listening to the article, you can click on the little speaker icon here, and you can also play around with font size to make it easier for you to read it. Here's another really nice thing about using an online database. Teachers often will require you to cite your sources. Every time that you use something to gain information, you need to give credit to that source. And it's super easy to do in an online database. To cite an article or any other material you find in the database, you just click on Cite, and then choose the citation method that your teacher has asked you to do. For most classes at Minnows, it'll be the MLA citation method, and then all you do is copy it. And that can be pasted then directly into your works cited list or into your bibliography. And it's as easy as that. You don't have to try and scramble to find the information. So again, opposing viewpoints, this online database is a very valuable source to use, both when you are looking for a topic to research and once you've decided on your topic. I hope that you take time to browse around in this database on your own, and I hope you find lots of interesting ideas.